viewers. Hope you enjoyed these YouTube videos that we're doing with GAT, Global Air Supplies, here again with Ian. We're going to talk about fans now. Most fans, that most people know the good old RVK from System Air. A lot of people are probably hearing a buzz about new technology in fans, digital fans versus AC fans. Hopefully we're going to explain a bit of the differences and talk a lot about the Revolution fan, which is a new designed fan, designed specifically for the hydro market as well in mind. So I'm going to hand over to Ian to start talking about some of the benefits of these and the differences, please.
No problem. So, realistically, what we've got here, we've got the old favourite, which has always been the RVK. We stripped it down so I can explain a little bit about how the RVK works. So basically, what the RVK is, it's two plastic housings, a motor and a wheel. This is basically, we call it a radial wheel or a radical wheel, and basically what it does, it sucks air in through the housing, it throws air out at 90 degrees. This then follows the curvature of the internals of the fan and out. What happens then, it goes through these guide vanes, and these guide vanes do the best to straighten out the airflow.
So to bring it back in
the best they can, but you do get a huge amount of air throw. So basically you don't get any directional airflow with these kind of fans, it just basically throws it out of the side of the house.
So if I was to stand in front of that fan, I would have air here, 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 as well as some here.
Yeah, there'll be some in the middle, but the most of it is directed around. You'll see it's an EBM motor, so basically a German motor, really bulletproof motor. These fans have been around 25-30 years. You'll notice on the wiring on the fan, it's just an AC fan. It's got four wires, but basically you've got earth, live and neutral. To control an AC fan, you can do this with a frequency controller, which makes the fans buzz, or you can use a step controller, which basically are very expensive and they're not linear. So basically they step through with different speeds. You
generally get 5-step control, don't you? So 5 speed settings basically.
Yeah, really inefficient to use. Relatively good fan. It's still a great fan, but it's old technology. This kind of technology is being phased out of Europe. By 2020, we think a lot of AC motors will no longer be available to be sold in the industry.
So most things are going digital, and obviously, like anything else, there's a progression into new technology. I still believe there's still a need for RVKs. I think they'll switch from being more outtakes to maybe intakes, or another product we talked about with diffuse air is really good for them as well. So nothing wrong with RVKs. They've been stable for the environment, but like everything, we always want new, we always want shiny.
Yeah, it's like say it's the difference between a normal coil ballast and digital ballast. People still use normal ballast. There's still a big use for normal ballast, but a lot of people are moving over to digital for all the better reasons. And this probably will not be available. 2020, all the AC motors are being phased out.
So basically, we've got no choice but to look at different technology.
Yeah, we're a little bit early. System Air likes being early. They like to have all the technology ready. So basically, their industry is huge. So they need to be efficient. They need to be future-proofed. And basically, the watts per power output needs to be a certain level for Europe.
So it's got to be efficient as well.
Yes.
Cool.
And this is where AC and EC fans differ. This is an EC fan. So how this differs, basically we've stripped this down earlier as well. What we've got here, this is more like an axial fan, more like a propeller, what you'd see on planes jet engines, things like that. Again, it's connected to an EBM motor, but what you'll see the difference on the EBM motor, you have the normal connection cables, which is your 240 volts in, but you also have signal cables. So there's a built-in microchip inside the fan, which allows it to be controlled a lot easier and a lot more efficient than a standard AC fan.
Cool. How was so I'm going back again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the signals, the way that the motor works, it works very differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically it's brushless, so basically this will not wear out.
Yeah.
The standard motors have brushes in, like all AC motors. It's a field what basically puts electricity around the motor, pulling the brush round to pull the motor. An EC motor is magnetic, so what they do, or what we found out what they could do, is if they polarise the plus and the minus, it will basically drag the magnet towards the plus. And then if it polarise the minus, that will push the magnet away. So if you get two magnets, you put them together, cross polarity, they'll push away from each other. Put them together and they'll go together. So what this does, it puts power at the front of the magnet, but also puts power behind the magnet. So you're actually pushing and pulling at the same time. So that's why they're super, super efficient.
And I take it that's where part of the increased flow rate comes from as well?
Yeah, it's an increased flow rate, increased pressure. They're great under pressure, so connect these to carbon filters, the pressure drop is really low. But the best thing about this fan, this design costs almost €2 million to design. It's been designed on a computer, it's been designed in Airflow Labs. The way it works is what makes this fan better than all other EC fans on the market. Basically, you've got your fan and you've got your impeller. These are angled at a certain angle, around about 35 degrees. As you get as the air volume runs past these blades, it then enters this housing. As you see, it's a one-piece housing, so there's no leaks, no issues with it, no vibrations. Yeah, it's a one-part housing. Inside here, you'll see guide vanes. So as the motor's connected in here, it drags the air in, throws the air out at 35 degrees, it hits these guide vanes, and these guide vanes then send the air out of the tube into a basically, it forces the air along in very, very directional. So if I had this turned on at the moment, I could literally point the air where I wanted it to go.
In store at One Stop, we've actually used it as demos, and we've got a very long showroom. For most of you guys, you've probably seen it. There's a big run right in front of the counter. We've actually had people standing from by the main entrance door and right at the back, and you can literally step in, step out. You can have nothing here, no air here, but you can feel it all here, and it's a long run with a lot of pressure as well into it.
Basically, it makes the air go down the ducting a lot less noisy and a lot more efficient. There's no pressure drop when it runs through ducting. So basically, by having the motor, so it's more like an axial fan than a radial fan like on the RVK. The EC motor, in this housing, you have got the most efficient fan on the market to date.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's sealed as well. There's no issues with any of that there as well, which always makes a good. Like say, there's no leaks. One of the things that we talk about environments and talk about make sure air goes in the right directions and breakouts and things like that. You don't get none of that with this fan, are you? So.
No, it's really, really efficient to run as well. Basically, an AC motor running at 50% of its volume still uses round about 70 to 80% of the power output. You turn this motor down, you turn this down to the same speed, you're losing something like 30% of the electricity. So the saving, because your fans never run full speed constantly in a grow, or they shouldn't be run if they're spec properly, you should be running round about half speed, 3/4 speed maximum when the lights are on to get rid of the hot air. These fans running at half speed only use 30% of it, so you're actually saving 50% of your cost by running an EC fan in your room.
So you're actually getting better control and like you say, an energy saving for it, and pounds per electric saving as well. Yeah,
basically you save money on the electricity. They've got 5-year guarantee, so basically they never break, they're completely sealed. And when you run them on an EC fan controller, you can turn the fan all the way down to 0, all the way up to 99. There's no buzzing, no humming. It just works in unison with an EC controller.
So life-saving for some people. I know whenever I've been near fans that buzz, it drives me crazy, and we get many customers coming in saying, I just can't cope with that hum.
Yeah.
EC fan, EC controller, savings, complete control of the fan speed, the way forward really.
Yeah, it's the future of air movement in my opinion.
Yeah, and I know that we're talking about EC fans here just for a minute, but just as a quick side note, they are available as an AC motor. You don't get the energy savings, you don't get the benefits. They're not quite as efficient in sort of air pressure, but you do benefit from that directional airflow and the same features of the blades as well. So
yeah, basically they took it was designed to be an EC motor, but because we're still a little bit early to get out there and really push EC, they've designed an AC motor what would fit in the housing. So you get the benefit of the housing, you get the benefit of the axial impeller, so you get all the airstream. But basically, it's still an AC fan, but it's still a great fan.
Yeah, so for those people who aren't quite ready to upgrade technology because you don't want to mix and match between AC digital, there is still a better option for them in there.
Just pick the AC version of this and you get a great fan.
Cool. So we've obviously gone through and covered all the benefits, all the bonuses, all the plus sides, all the innovation and everything on here. So what we've got is a really, really good fan. It's efficient, that moves a lot of air, has no pressure drop off. Will tie in really, really nicely with carbo air filters as well. Again, watch another other video to see about carbo air filters. There's a filter to match every system.
Yeah, it's all been tested.
One thing that's obviously because of the air movement about this fan, it might sound noisy. The fan itself isn't noisy, but the air movement is louder than most people expect.
Yeah.
That's led to System Air doing what I can see just over out of shot, which I'm going to get Ian to pull in, a silenced version. So I'm going to ask Ian to drag it in and give us an update on this, please.
So basically what happened, because these EC fans are so high powered and give so much airflow, the airflow can seem to be noisy. If you reduce this down to about 65% of its normal speed, it competes with other EC fans which are on the market. So basically running this at almost half speed is what the other EC fans on the market are pulling out at the moment. Turn this up to full speed, you're almost doubling their airspeed. So people are saying, oh, it's a little bit noisy on full speed, etc. So we went back to System Air and said, right, what can we do? How can we make the airflow quieter? They looked at us as if we were crazy because they've never seen this before. They think, why would you want to do this?
They had, like I say, they're not necessarily been heavily invested in the hydro industry, understand the need for stealth and stuff like that, which is why you guys are coming.
Yeah, because they say this is the quietest fan on the market, running at the best speeds for the best airflow. So they're saying it's a perfect fan. Why need to change it? So after a few meetings and a few different tests, we showed them the airflow noise, and they brought out this. So basically what we've got here, we've now got the Silence Revolution range. So this is available in both AC and EC again. Basically all we've done, we've took the best fan on the market and put it into a silenced housing. So it comes pre-packed. Comes wrapped, so if you're shipping it online or things like that, I still recommend packing it a little bit better than this, but basically it comes all wrapped. So there you go. Comes pre-wired, so the UK plug is already on. Some other products don't come with UK plugs. It's very difficult for the end user to go and find a plug, come back, wire it on. They're not the greatest, so we've put the plug on, so there's no issues for the end user, made it really easy.
Simple.
You've got the connection for the EC fan.
For the controller, yeah.
Yeah, this is, there's only this on the EC fan, it's not on the AC version, obviously, because the AC version is controlled through 240 volts.
Not for the extra signal that you were talking about previously.
This is 0 to 10 volts. And what you'll notice, on the ends, you've got these rubbers. So this is basically a higher standard than a normal flange. So basically you slide the ducting on, if you're going directly onto here, you slide your coupling onto there, and this creates a perfect seal, makes it really, really easy to fit.
Cool, so you're actually benefiting from a tighter seal than
an again, it's all about airflow, it's all about being sealed, no escaping air from any of these products. These are true ventilation products.
Cool. So just if we can get that on camera down the lens, it is exactly the same fan internally, it's just got an acoustic housing basically.
Yeah, basically we don't cheat on the fan, we don't put a different fan in there, it's exactly the same fan in a silenced housing. We've made the fan so that basically it's covered in this case and it's riveted on. So if we do have any issues with the fan, which we know we're not going to do, but it's a 5-year guarantee, we can get into there, fix the fan, build it back up, and it's not a problem to do that.
One of the things I can see looking at it from this angle, again if we go to the camera, is most silenced fans that I've ever seen on the market use a sponge or a polystyrene foam. That looks a little bit different.
Yeah, the sponge, you should never really use sponge to quieten air. Sponge will quieten air by reducing the airflow. So we use an acoustic foam. It's waterproof, it absorbs 0.02% of water, so if there's any moisture gets through here, absorbs very little. It doesn't absorb dust, so it doesn't get dusty. It's white, which is a little bit different because it's proper acoustic foam. It's not sponge. Sponge is basically made for putting on walls in studios and things like that. It's not made for quieting the air. You get no pressure loss with this housing. So the pressure you get from this fan is exactly what you're saying get from the air.
And that's quite an interesting thing as well, because sometimes you, like say a Silex fan, you do lose a little bit of pressure from them as
Yeah,
well.
but this we tested it and there's no significant loss of airflow.
Cool. So we're still getting the same efficiency, just with that added air silence, basically.
Yeah, I think it's 12 to 15 decibels quieter than the original version, which doesn't seem a lot to us, but it is a lot to your ear.
I was going to say I'm not into sound, but somewhere in my back of my head, for every 3 decibels, it's actually a doubling of noise level. Again, I might be just slightly incorrect on that, but I do know that that's quite a big. If it's 12 decibels, that's quite a big saving in noise. So
yeah, run them up. You've got them in one stop. Go down there, listen to them yourself, and you'll be really impressed in the airflow speed versus the noise.
Cool, guys. For more info, please come and have a look in store online. Check out our other YouTube videos according to that we cover the filters that match these as well, the Carbowear. Definitely worth pairing the two up together. One thing Systemair are definitely good at is they've been doing this stuff for years and years and years, and it is nice to have a dedicated wholesaler in the UK for environmental air ventilation. So available in store or online at www.onestopgrowshop.co.uk. Cheers, guys.